Gather round, it's story time. ComixDad's got the latest on the line. From panels to pixels, we'll explore the world of comics and so much more. Welcome to Talkin Shop, where we never stop discussing heroes, villains, every plot twist we've got. From ink to screen and all in between. With ComixDad and friends, it's the scene. We'll dive into pop culture, what's hot, what's not, entertainment, buzz, the latest plot, content creation, how we make it pop. Sit back, relax, let's talk shop. Welcome to Talkin Shop, where we never stop discussing heroes, villains, every plot twist we've got. From ink to screen and all in between. With ComixDad and friends, it's the scene. Whether it's manga, movies, or memes, we've got the insights, the laughs, and the schemes. So join the chat, let's elevate the conversation, don't hesitate. From classics to new, from indie to mainstream, we'll cover it all like a superhero's dream. Maybe we'll stray talk of other things, but comic love is what gives us wings. Welcome to Talkin Shop, where we never stop discussing heroes, villains, every plot twist we've got. From ink to screen and all in between. With ComixDad and friends, it's the scene.
What's going on, everybody? ComixDad here for another edition of Talking Shop. I think it's episode 13 now, which means for the last 26 weeks, you guys have been good because this show happens every other week. So for the last 26 weeks, you guys have been coming in and looking at me, talk to some really awesome guests because, well, let's face it, you guys are here for the guests. You're not here for me. I wouldn't be here for me either. But all jokes aside, though, we have a really awesome guest today. It's going to be a good show. And we have an awesome surprise guest to go alongside our guest. We'll get to that in just a minute. But first, let us get through the chat and say hi to everybody who's here. We have, of course, our friend Error of Fate says, hello, fellow humans. I might not be here today. If I am, I will be late. Have a good day. Have a good stream. Goodbye, fellow humans. Error, thank you for showing up early. And maybe we'll see you later. If not, it's all good. Error be it error. Pretty much you pop it in to say you're not going to be here is par for the course. And I honestly, I think I'd be upset if you were actually here because it would be breaking tradition at that point, it seems. But no, regardless, Error, thank you so much for hopping in early. And then, of course, off the bat, Snooty Mims. Let me tell you something about Snooty Mims. This man went for 20 over on Rumble. This man is a wonderful legend in the chat, and not just because he throws the rumble rants my way and Queen Comics Wife's way over on her channel, but because this man takes his own hard-earned money and he will go into other people's streams and spend his hard-earned money to shout out myself and Queen Comics Wife and other small creators here on that are over here on the Rumble side, just because he enjoys what people are doing. And Snooty Mims is a great guy. Snooty Mims, brother, I appreciate you. He said, God bless the comics family. With that said, let's do this. That's right, Snooty Mims. Let's do this. And God, actually, you know what? Let me hit the thank you, and then I'll get into something real quick. Billy McGuire. Got to do the dance every time. But yeah, so Snooty Mims, you said God bless the comics family. Well, Snooty Mims, actually earlier this week, God did finally bless the comics family. So for anybody who is aware, you know what I've been going through, you know what Queen Comics Wife is currently going through. For those of you who aren't aware, back in early May, I had lost my job. They basically came to me, said, hey, listen, due to reasons, can't afford to keep you on staff anymore. Best of luck to you. And then last month, the end of June, beginning of July, Queen Comics Wife's job, more or less, they kind of same thing. Hey, you know what? Things are tight. Can't afford to keep everybody on staff. Unfortunately, you were one of the people picked to go. So that was unfortunate. We've been dealing with that the best that we can. And people like Snooty Mims and other very, very generous people have been helping us out and just being so generous and throwing a couple bucks here and there as we're getting clothes for the kids for school, and just able to scrape and buy to pay whatever bills that are absolutely need to be paid and everything. With that said, I actually had an interview last Friday for a place. They called me about 30 minutes after I met with them, said, "Hey, Monday, can you come on in and just do a shadowing as a follow up to the interview?" I said, "Okay, cool." I went Monday. I got back home within an hour and a half of getting back from the shadowing on Monday. They called and said, "Hey, you want the job?" So, friends, your boy ComixDad is not going to feel like a useless couch potato of a bum for much longer. So I will be. I went for a pre-work physical and screen and all that stuff today. Got to go back next week to go do one final thing. But by the beginning of next month, your boy ComixDad's going to have a job again. So, which means I won't be streaming as much probably, depending upon the schedule. But you know what? It was needed. I would rather have a job and work than do this stuff. Not saying I don't want to do it for you guys, but if I had to pick one, paying bills, keeping a roof over the head of the kids and the wife is definitely more important. But just wanted to give you guys an update on that, and a big thank you to Snooty Mims and everybody else who has been very generous with not just their hard-earned dollars, but also with their time, their thoughts, their prayers, just their energy of just keeping us in their minds and in their hearts. So thank you everybody for that. Now moving on with the rest of the chat. Sane Finitum, or Sane, our new friend here in the Rumble side, says, "Finally here for a live, excited for the chat. Let's go. What's going on, Sane? White Devil Otaku, good to see you, brother." Says, "How's it going, everyone?" Well, now you know how it's going, White Devil. Now you know. Snooty Mims, hail, there he is. And Queen Comics wife herself is over here, says, "Hey, Snooty." White Devil, you two were talking together. ComixDad, I have a question. Sorry to bug you. What is your question, Queen Comics wife? You hit me. You type your question into the chat while I go through introducing our wonderful guest. So, ladies and gentlemen, our guest tonight is, as you guys know, I am a big proponent of supporting independent comics and shouting out independent comics and independent comic creators. And tonight's guest is such a person who I actually came across through friend of the channel. We've had him on a couple of times. Eric Hodson, aka the Dreaded Dinosaur, over on X there. And Eric put me onto this guest, and with a cover that he had done for him for a newly released book called Pencils Down. And he has a couple other works that he's put out, which I would love to get my hands on and take a flip through, because I enjoyed this so much that I want to read more. And with him also is his wonderful, fantastic, adorable 6-month-old baby daughter, who appears to have maybe laid down because she's been crying for the last 40 minutes but while we've been here hanging out before the show started. So she might have gone down for a nap. But ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, here he is, of Belmont Press Comics, Justin Belmont.
Get on with it. Yes, get on with it.
Yes, get on with it. I know. You guys don't want to see me. You want to see my guest. Justin, welcome to the channel, and how are you, sir?
Good. Congratulations on the new job.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Yeah, it was getting a bit dicey there. It was getting a bit rough because just where we live, it's just unless I'm looking to go into entry level warehouse or retail, it's either that or I got to go have like a PhD and a specialty degree to go do some like a chemistry or be a doctor of some kind around here. So it's either one or the other. It's been for the most part in the job market in this area. So fortunately, I found something that falls kind of right in between all that. But thank you so much for that, man. But hey, enough talking about me though. Hold on one second. I'm sorry. My wife finally gave me the question. How do I hook up my mic? I need it hooked up for the recording. So Queen Comics wife, your microphone is already plugged into your computer in the program. When you go to record, there will be, before you hit the record button, there will be an option to select your device. It is the HyperX Duo or HyperX Solo is the device that you want, and then go ahead and do your thing. If not, I'll help you work it out after the show. Sorry about that, Justin. Anyway. But how are you tonight, man? Thank you so much for coming on. I appreciate you for being here and taking time out of your night, especially with you having your daughter close by. Um, the what is it? By the way, ladies and gentlemen, you didn't get to see her. Adorable little angel. God has blessed this man in many ways, especially with that little bundle of joy that he had with him. But
Yeah, she
thank you so
fell
much for
asleep.
being here.
She fell asleep behind stage.
Oh, she did. Okay, yeah. Like, yeah, she was going at it. She when I first popped in to start setting stuff up, Justin and his daughter were already sitting here in the studio offline waiting. The same reaction I get from most small children, even my own when they were younger. So that kind of kicked everything off, and so I guess she had enough seeing my face. I'm going to bed. Wake me up when you're done talking to the ugly man, Daddy. But Justin, so if you don't mind, just give the folks a little bit at home, just kind of about yourself, who you are, what you do, and we'll get into more detailed about it later on in the show. But just give you, I after the introduction I gave you, give more, I guess, a more proper and detailed introduction to yourself, if you don't mind.
I've been a comic collector since about 15 years old, and I used to be a little leaguer, and I used to collect baseball cards. So I'd go to the comic book shop just to buy the baseball cards, and I would notice the comics, and then one day I just started buying them and became a customer. But my first comic book, you were asking earlier, you said what would be my first comic book that I bought?
Oh yeah, I meant more just kind of like who you are, what you do with like Belmont Press and all that.
Oh, yeah, Belmont Press has been around since about 2019. It's my own publishing house where I'm just putting out fun comics, doing what I like to do. My first comic was Smokes the Fox, which did pretty well. I came up with the character when I was about 15, and I used to smoke a little funny stuff. And I came up with the idea one day, and then crowdfunding became a thing a few years ago, and I decided it was time to release my comic. I saw others that were doing it. There was a path forward. You can have your own campaign and raise money and get the funding you need to get your comic book released. So I actually did that, um, along with artists like you were talking about earlier, Eric Hodson. He came along later on, but I call him Hard K. I don't call him Dreaded Dinosaur.
Yeah, I remember from the first time he was on the channel, you popped in, I remember you throwing it in there. I even asked him afterwards too. I was like, that's a really odd, that's a really weird nickname, man. He's like, yeah, I'll tell you the story one day. I still haven't gotten that story. I'm sure I'll get it one day from him. But
Well, it's
but
not
that was my introduction to you actually too, was having Eric here on this show actually. So shout out to Eric Hodson. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, Justin's links are all in the description of the stream, his X, his website for Belmont Press, and then also there's a third link for an upcoming campaign that he's going to be launching, and we'll get into that as well. But yeah, Justin, I mean, you started touching on it. I guess you could carry on from there. But yeah, kind of the question of your background in comics, kind of what got you into it, your earliest memory, maybe your favorite book reading as a kid, whatnot. Just you carry on with that for me if you don't mind.
the first comic I bought was when I was at the mall. It wasn't the comic shop, and there was this little antique shop at the mall, and they had a window, and in the window there was a tape comic book, which was New Mutants '87, the first appearance of Cable by
Ooh.
Rob Liefeld. At the time, it was a back issue, and I think it was like $6 or $8, which was actually kind of a lot of money back then in
Oh
the
yeah.
early '90s, especially for like a 14 or 15-year-old kid. Uh, so when I saw that cover, and for some reason I said I have to buy that comic. So that was the first comic that I remember buying. People are probably going to hate me. Belmont's buying Rob Liefeld comics.
Well, back before we got to know Rob Liefeld a little bit better.
And then I remember seeing him on the jeans commercial, and comics were cool. Back then, And I was getting into them and starting to collect them. I started going to garage sales where they had comic books, and I would buy, comics for 50 cents, $1, wherever I can get them. And then I actually started collecting artwork and going to conventions. I would uh, go up to the artist at like 14 or 15, and I didn't really have paper or anything. I just used the backing boards from the comics, and I just go up to them and try to get a sketch. And if you're a young kid, artists don't mind drawing a little simple sketch for
Oh
you for
yeah.
free. You know what I mean?
And grabbing
But
the backing boards, that's genius because it's actually that's in my mind. I wouldn't have even thought of that because that's a lot better than just taking a piece of paper and say, "Hey, can you do something with this?"
here's a notebook. Can you draw
Yeah,
this?
yeah, a notebook that'll get all torn up and smashed up in my backpack when I go to school.
So I think my first Comic Con was Ithacon, which is in upstate New York.
Okay.
It's and they have I think the oldest comic book club in the world. I think was started in the Ithacon, and Roger Stern is a part of that. I think he was the president for many years, and then Wendy Peeney from ElfQuest, she was a part of it. So they in their roster they had a lot of professional talent, and they would throw this little Comic Con together. Nothing fancy, no celebrities, just a few people selling back issues, a few dealers or whatever, and some comic book guests.
The good old days of conventions.
Yeah. So I got to meet Roger Stern and David Lapham. I remember, oh man, I can't remember who else I met, but a lot of different artists would come every year, and I would go there. And then they had this thing called the Utica Con, which I was from upstate New York, and Utica. And they had a couple of guests here, and then later on Syracuse, which is nearby, had a comic convention, and then I ended up going to the biggest con in 1993, which was the Philadelphia Comic Con.
Okay. Yeah, my down a little more in my neck of the woods. I'm originally from New Jersey. I live kind of out in
Uh,
central Pennsylvania now. So, but yeah, Philly Comic Con is. You think as time went on, you think it would grow and kind of match like New York and San Diego and how big it is. But I'm surprised it hasn't after all this time.
but when I went, I remember the biggest guest was Todd McFarlane. He was there.
Of course.
Eric Larson was next to him, and then you had to wait in this line for about 2 to 3 hours to get a ticket for an autograph.
Oh, geez.
Yeah, it was free, but you had to wait in this long line, and then after you get out of that line, you had to go into another line to cash in that ticket to get an autograph. So I didn't, I was happy to be there, and my friend's dad drove us all the way from upstate New York to Philadelphia. And I never really been out of the state. My parents were kind of like, you know, uh, against traveling, I guess. I never been down south when I was a kid. We didn't go very far outside of New York. Nothing else really existed. We just stayed, in our area. But I
Yeah,
remember going back.
I was
Go ahead.
just gonna say it's especially in larger states. It's kind of amazing how that seems in the. I mean, 'cause granted, like you said, originally from New Jersey, so like it seemed like we were constantly going either over into New York or into Pennsylvania at least a handful of times a year. But now that I'm here in a larger state in Pennsylvania, we are never leaving Pennsylvania, hardly ever to go anywhere. So I know what you mean by that now. Now that we've been here for a few years, like our obligatory 1 or 2 time a year trip out to New Jersey to go see friends and family. But other than that, yeah, it's the state's big enough we don't ever leave it. So I know what you mean by that now.
Yeah, we just go to the Adirondack Mountains once in a while, to the water park, some museum, or whatever. But yeah, we weren't big on traveling, so I was, happy to get into the car and go to Philadelphia with my friend, meet some big time comic artists. Uh, so that's really how I got into comics. And then,
Very nice.
I kind of enjoyed getting the artwork more than the comic books after a while. So I would start writing to the artist. I would just get the address, from the first pages of the comic book. They would have like the company address,
Oh, okay.
and I would just put care of whoever I was writing to. I remember writing a lot of Valiant artists. I was a big fan of Valiant, the early stuff when Jim Shooter and Barry Windsor Smith
Yep.
was a part of the company, and Bob Layton. And I would write to them, and they would send me gold comics. I don't know if you remember the Valiant Gold comics editions, where they would have them. If you did something special for Valiant, they would send you one in the mail.
I've seen pictures of them, but I don't
Uh-huh.
I don't remember them myself or have ever actually seen one. But that's really cool. I've never actually thought about. I mean, in today's day and age, it's you could do that, and if you get a response, good luck. But like back then, that was cool that you were able to write a letter. Geez, writing a letter. Oh God.
Yeah, I would write.
I had to process that for a second, but yeah, just write a letter. Then not
Yeah,
only just hope to get maybe like just a cool little sketch in the mail, but like they're actually sending you a whole, basically a whole care package of awesome stuff, which is fantastic.
yeah. Once in a while, I'd get a gold comic, and then I would write to the Valiant artists. I remember Ted Halstead. He was the artist of Eternal Warrior, and I wrote to him. I told him how much I liked his artwork, and he sent me like 11 by 17 a piece. It was Eternal Warrior's headshot, and then inside his head was like a full body of the Eternal Warrior with his
Huh?
gun, and was like smoking. And that was the first time I've ever got a piece that was on 11 by 17 paper, instead of on like a crude comic book backing board or
Oh
whatever,
yeah.
postcard or whatever. So I
Like
was really excited, and that kind of got me really into collecting art. And I put it on my wall, I framed it, and so I just started collecting artwork and comic books. And then after a few years, I kind of like died down on collecting comic books after I moved to Denver when I was 21. I kind of stopped collecting comics, was kind of on my own, just working, just trying to get by, discovering, a new state, and
eh,
just trying to
that
see what kind of person I am or whatever, is growing up in a new place. And, the comics got kind of the back burner for a while. And then one day, I saw, the crowdfunding was starting up, and Kickstarter started, and Indiegogo came around, and now Fund My Comic, and I saw that it was possible, to put out a comic book, and
yeah, for sure.
I had this character, Smokes the Fox, in the back of my head for 15 years, and every couple years or so, the thought would come back in my head, like, you got to do something with that character, you got to do something. It was
Uh,
like eating at me. It was like he wanted to get out, like he wanted to get out of my brain, and like wanted to be on paper.
and then you found all these different platforms. Well, here's your chance. You've got no
Yeah,
excuses now. Go ahead.
yeah. I saw it was possible, that there was a roadmap to get your comic book funded, and you're not guaranteed to get your comic book funded, but this doesn't hurt to try.
Oh,
So
for sure. Yeah, well, it's like it's that legendary quote. You miss 100% of the shots you don't take. So you
exactly.
might as well just buckle up, lace up your skates, go take that first shot, and see what happens. But before we dive into more about smokes and weaponized werewolf and of course pencils down and everything that you've got going on with your publishing title, real quick, do you happen to have maybe one or two pieces of your collection for show and tell that you'd like to share with the wonderful 7 people watching over on Rumble?
I brought a couple pieces of artwork.
Oh, okay.
Let me
Yeah,
take
I
it
am
out
not
of the
going to beat
plastic.
any of this. I am always every single show. I am always one upped by anybody that ever brings some show and tell. I never win. Oh, that is beautiful.
This is a Mark Silvestri variant cover for Cable.
Oh, that
Do
is
you see that?
fantastic. Yeah, that is. You are a lucky man. That is absolutely gorgeous.
I'm a big fan of Mark Silvestri and the early Image comics, so I was collecting, Valiant stuff, of course, and all the indie comics were. It was a big scene back then, kind of like how it is now.
Hmm.
Everybody seemed to have their own IP, and I'd see the Max, and Jeff Smith had Bone, and that's how I came up with my character. I was like, I need my own character. So it kind of like that's how it happened, because everybody else had one. I was like, I felt jealous, that I wanted my own. But so I was always a big collector of the indie comics and stuff. But my absolute favorite piece.
Oh, my
This is
wife, my wife will love that.
this is not the actual original cover. This predates. Do you remember the glow in the dark Mark Texera?
Yes, yes.
So this is the Ghost Rider. I believe it was 15, right?
I
Was
think it
the
was. It was
so
somewhere in the mid teens there.
originally this was just pencils. Okay, so this piece was drawn as a prelim to that cover. So he drew it out. It was really rough pencils, and it kind of has like it's hard to see, but there's water damage. So
Oh
it
yeah, I
somehow
could
got
see a little bit of it.
so it somehow got water damage, got a little warped. But I saw this on a website. Some dealer, some comic book art dealer had it for sale, and I had to snatch that up. Even though
Oh, for sure.
it was crude. It didn't look anything like this. It was really rough pencils. And then one day I actually got to meet Mark Texera at an upcoming convention, like
Oh, okay.
12, 13 years ago. And I went over to his table and I was talking to his handler. They sometimes the artist will bring along, you know, a person that will tell you how much his commission is or ask you what you're looking for and kind of like be the middleman.
Yeah.
Not all the time, but sometimes we'll have a middleman. And then I was talking with her and I said, "Well, I just wanted to know if you can like I don't know, just touch it up a little bit and make it look better." "Oh, do you want him to ink it?" And I said, "Sure."
Yes, please.
And it came out as good, if not better, than the cover, in my opinion.
Oh
Absolutely
yeah.
incredible. He spent like 2 days at the show inking it.
Oh,
Um,
that is awesome, man.
so
That's beautiful. Yeah, my wife, she's a big fan of Ghost Rider. She has a piece, just from some local artist that was a convention that we went to. I think it was about a year or two ago. I think it was just some small convention down in Maryland. But this guy, he in his own style did a really cool color. I think it was 12 by 18 on 12 by 18. But he did a really cool color piece of Ghost Rider. But what he did was he actually took a match and he burned parts of the paper after he was
whoa,
done doing the art on it. So this way it looked like almost as if Ghost Rider was, messing with the paper himself, which is really cool. It's framed over here, but like with the green screen up right now and everything. That's right, everybody. Your boy ComixDad has a green screen now. We're next level. But with the green screen up and literally me being just trapped in the corner right now until I take it down, I would go grab it, but it's kind of hard to do right now. But I don't have pieces, but I have a comic that actually just came in today. I was really excited to be able to get my hands on this, and I got it at a pretty decent price too. But it is for everybody that knows, big on Transformers, love Transformers. Not the biggest fan in the world, like some other people out there that we know come into the chat and interact with the channel and whatnot. But I do love Transformers nonetheless, especially G1. So what I actually got in the mail today was Transformers number 8. Oh, and of course the green on the cover is gonna mess with the green
yeah, that's
screen.
why I stopped using my green screen because you're trying to do show and tell. It does not work very well.
Yeah, let me just do this real quick. We'll just what is it? There we go. Okay, there we go. But Bob Badansky, Transformers number 8, the very first appearance of the Dinobots.
Oh, that's cool.
It was I'm gonna put this, I'm making myself really nervous. I'm gonna put this back into the bag and board real quick. I just wanted to get it out because of the gleam on the bag, but I'm making myself nervous holding that. It's in really great condition too. I don't know if it'd be like if I were to send it out for grading. I don't know if it'd come back as a 9.8, but I think it'd come back at least at a bare minimum at a 7.5 at a bare minimum. So that might be with the new job. That's something that I definitely would like to do is get a couple of my books graded finally. And I think this might be one of them. But yeah, first appearance of the Dinobots, and on top of that, my younger daughter, she's not really into Transformers, but
Uh-huh.
she's into Spider-Man, and she also loves dinosaurs. So I showed her this, and she said, "What? Dino robots?" I said, "Not just dino robots, baby. Dinobots." She said, "Dinobots!" Ah! I was like, "Yes, okay, maybe there is hope for you to get on the Transformers wagon soon." Yeah,
Maybe I'll start watching Transformers with my baby girl.
there you go. All right, let me get this turned. See bookshelf. There it is. There you go. Yeah, I actually, my, not just my little one, but now my older one as well. Both of the comics kids are actually watching Dragon Ball with me from the beginning. So they're watching that with me. The younger one, she actually, I don't know if you remember this one or not, but Street Sharks, one of those like kind of obscure 90s that only lasted for like a season or two.
Yep.
She actually is loving Street Sharks, and of course Tubi is awesome because we're able to find all this stuff there for free. But so I'm hoping between Dragon Ball, Street Sharks, and then some Ninja Turtles sprinkled in, I'm hoping eventually to make the jump into Transformers one day, where she'll get excited for it. But yeah, that's just my little show and tell. Like I said, the timing worked perfectly because it literally just came in today. I wasn't expecting it until the weekend. So, but with that said, now all of our little non-important comic talk is out of the way. Let's get into the important stuff. So Justin, you have, like you said, you started, you found out about crowdfunding and wanted to publish your character Smokes. So I guess you kind of already got into a little bit of the beginning of how Belmont Press came to be. So for everybody at home, and actually also myself, why don't you tell us a little bit about Smokes the Fox, that first character, that first book of yours, and then we'll make our way into Pencils Down, and then we'll move on from there as well.
Smokes is about a pot smoking hybrid fox. You're familiar with Area 51, I'm sure, right?
Oh, of course, of course.
And then there's
The place we're not allowed to talk about.
yeah, and supposedly there's another Area 51 type of base, but it's underground and it's located on the Colorado New Mexico border, and they call it Dulce Base.
Really?
If you're familiar with, remember that guy who said he got into a fight with aliens underground and they shot him with a laser?
Wait, what?
Rob
No, I'm not
Schneider, whatever
familiar.
his name was, Rob Schneider, I think his name was.
Wait, what? This is the first time hearing about any of this.
You never heard about that?
No, I didn't.
Well, supposedly there's a base that's underground on the border, like I was saying, in like deep underground, and supposedly this base is about, I don't know, 7 levels deep, and in the deepest level they call it Nightmare Hall, and supposedly gray aliens are working alongside with humans and doing experiments on other humans.
Get out of here.
Yeah, it's crazy. There's whistleblowers that come out and stuff like that. So I kind of like took that lore. I'm big into UFO stuff and
Okay.
cryptids and stuff like that. So I kind of took that lore and that's how my origin of Smokes is. So Smokes is half human and half fox, and there's also weaponized werewolf who came from the same place, but he's half wolf and half human. So they have human mothers, and they were birthed like a human, but the DNA was mixed by the grays. So in Smokes, there's this alien gray who's kind of like the shot caller of the base, and his name is Sepoy, and Sepoy is in charge of the hybrid program. He calls the shots down there, and so they're creating these hybrids. And Smokes wasn't exactly what they were looking for. I mean, he was smart, he was intelligent, but he wasn't strong enough. So then later, and then
Okay.
they tried other different animals and stuff like that. If you read Smokes, you'll see that there's other hybrids, but Smokes was obviously the smartest one, and he was able to escape this super secure secret military base, and he was able to get out. And they had no other choice but to send weaponized werewolf after him to either bring him back or to eliminate him. So that's how
I was
Smokes goes.
Once you were getting into that, I was like, oh, that's the connection. Okay. Yeah, that's and I guess for anybody who wants to check out Smokes, and also you did a weaponized werewolf issue 0. What is a way for people to go and be able to check out Smokes the Fox and weaponized werewolf? Is there like, do they just need to reach out to you, or is there a site that they could go to for that, or?
Smokes the Fox and Weaponized Werewolf is sold out, the regular edition,
Okay.
but I'm on Fund My Comic with that. It's kind of like a storefront.
Yeah,
And
I'm familiar with on my comic.
yeah, and I have the Virgin variants, which just doesn't have the logo on it, but the
Yep.
interior is the same. So I have some of those left, and I have some blank sketch covers if anybody wants to draw on one.
Aha, here it is. All right, I'm going to throw it into the chats for anybody who wants to. If you enjoyed hearing that little blurb about Smokes the Box of Weaponized Werewolf, I just put the link in the chats both on YouTube and on Rumble. If
Thank
anybody
you.
wants to go check that out, I know I will be first chance I get. But go check that out if you want to go see some of Justin's early work, his beginnings, his
Yeah,
origins. Shall we say?
yeah. There's also the digital version that's available, and you'll get both Smokes. So Weaponized Werewolf is actually the prequel to Smokes, so it takes place about 15 years prior.
Oh, okay.
So you can read them in any order, but it depends on how you want to go. Do you want to go from the beginning, go back to the or go back to the beginning, start from the end, or whatever, whichever way you want to go. But either way, it reads just as well.
And
And
and it looks like our other special little guest has joined us.
oh, dropped your little uni.
There
Yes,
she is.
yeah, this is baby Emma.
Aw. Anybody who's here, throw some prayer emojis or emotes into the chat for baby Emma. God bless you with a wonderful, beautiful little baby girl there, Justin.
Thank you. She's got a lot of hair.
Oh yeah, yeah. I definitely noticed that. Our younger one, it took her a while for it to start growing in, and then when it did, it grew in really light.
Uh,
So it still looked like she had bald baby going on until she was about, I don't know, maybe almost a year old. So yeah,
really?
good. Yeah. So
Uh,
I mean, she didn't have it. It was like an optical illusion just because of how light colored her hair was initially. But yeah, good for her. Healthy head of hair on her.
yeah, she actually had a lot of hair when she came out. The doctor was like,
Really.
"Whoa, she's got a lot of hair." Like we could see the hair as she was popping out. But
Weaponized werewolf in real life. Watch out.
yeah, she just went to her first Comic Con at 5 months years old.
Oh, God bless. That's awesome, man.
Yeah,
That's
so
awesome. We
I,
uh we take ours to them sometimes. It's not really their thing for the most part. They like seeing the cosplayers. Like they're
uh,
not really there for really much of anything else other than, oh, we get to watch mom and dad go look for comics and talk to people.
she seemed to enjoy it. We just pushed her around in the stroller, and she had her little Wonder Woman outfit on, and
Aw.
she seems to be like an outgoing baby. She likes the attention and stuff. She doesn't cry if strangers looking at her or whatever. So we're wheeling her around the convention. We live in Denver, so we live uh, about 20 minutes away from downtown. So the
Okay.
convention's not that far. We just take a Uber down there, and we went down there, spent the weekend. It was crazy, man. First night in our hotel room for the baby girl downtown, and a fire alarm went off. I never had this happen in the
Really?
history of my life. I've been, in a hotel room many times. I never had the fire alarm go off, and it was like at like 1 o'clock in the morning, and the baby started screaming, and then it said, "You must leave your room. You must leave your room. There's a
Oh,
fire. Do not use the elevator."
how did she do with all that?
So we had to like grab all our stuff, get dressed, uh, grab as much stuff we could. We don't know if there was actually a fire or not, so we grabbed like her formula and her diaper bag and everything,
Yeah.
and we're like running around like our heads cut off, and we had to walk down like 14 flights of stairs
Oh, jeez.
to get out. And then it turned out it was just a false alarm. And
Of
then
course, isn't it always?
yeah, so that was crazy. That was our first experience in the hotel, which
Well, fortunately, young enough not to remember in the future, so you got a second chance in a couple of years.
she won't remember. But we
But
did
yeah.
you did get the wheeler around the convention. We got to talk to Mike Barron. Mike Barron got to meet her.
Oh, nice. Very
Mike
nice.
Mike Barron is actually the writer of Smokes the Fox.
Yeah, I remember seeing his name on, because I was checking out Smokes before we started the show. I remember seeing his name attached to it.
Yeah, how that happened is Mike actually lives in our area in
Oh, does
Colorado.
he?
Yes. So there's a smaller convention called Mount Rocky Mountain Con.
Okay.
It's just like one hotel room and a little small hotel, and it's just a few tables and just a few
Yeah.
guests. So and I would always see Mike every year, and then when I wanted to put out my comic, I was thinking the best writer for this would be Mike Barron,
Mhm.
and I didn't know his background that he was a smoker or anything like that, but it turns out uh, he likes the devil's lettuce.
It just kind of lined up perfectly with what you had in mind.
Yeah, and I said, hey, would you be interested in writing? And I told him the how it was going to go, the story I had in my head, and he goes, I'm in. And I thought he was just like messing with me or whatever, joking, but he was really in. He said he was later on. He said he was born to write the comic book. That's what he told me.
That's awesome, man. Yeah,
So
I definitely wanna go. I might just grab the digital just to be able to read it, and then one first chance I get, I'll grab a physical from you. But yeah, I definitely want to check that out. But actually, you know what? It does lead me to an interesting question I have for you. So you have your solo indie publishing brand, your Belmont Press. You have your ideas, your concepts. So what led you to make the decision to, instead of being a self-published writer, to then, I guess, go out and just, well, you'll do the self-publishing, but then to go out and find somebody else to go write your stories as you just pitch it to them? What kind of led to that decision?
I decided that I wanted to make a high quality comic book, and use very high end artists and try to make the best comic book I could. And I've never wrote a comic book before, so I didn't feel comfortable. And then I spending all this money on all these artists, and then if my story doesn't hold up, it's not gonna it wasn't gonna do well. So I didn't feel
That's very true.
comfortable writing it, but I wanted my story. I wanted to get the story out in my head, so I worked with Mike. I told him how I wanted it to go, how he was going to escape, where the base was, and stuff like that, and like gave him the gist of how I wanted the issue. And of course, he added his own thing to it. I never had a villain of the story. I thought the government would just be the villain. So Mike Barron kind of threw the werewolf in there, and
Okay.
his name was Cheney in the book, as in Vaughn Cheney, original Wolfman. And later on, when I was working on Smokes, I thought the production wasn't going that quickly as fast as I wanted it to go,
Okay.
and I wanted to continue the story. And instead of making Smokes a longer comic book, I decided to make Weaponized Werewolf. But I didn't want to call it like Cheney or something like Cheney the Werewolf. That sounded kind of like cheesy or whatever. And
Yeah.
I came up with Weaponized Werewolf because I kind of wanted the name. You know how like Wonder Woman has two W's,
Yep.
so I wanted a
Got
name with a
it's.
with a W that went with werewolf, and I came with Weaponized Werewolf.
Oh yeah, an age old comic book trope. The definitely the alliteration. It always works. It's a tried and true method. So I don't blame you for going that way with it.
It sounded pretty cool, and I was like, this could be a prequel. Then I gave Mike Barron the idea for that story, and then I had actually my neighbor drew Weaponized Werewolf.
Oh really?
Yeah, which I didn't know who was my neighbor. I
Huh?
didn't know he was my neighbor until later on after I hired him. Because he gave me his address, and I was like, I can walk that shit over to you.
Oh, so like literally he was right
100
down the
paces.
road.
100 paces.
That's small world, as they say. That's awesome how that works out.
Yeah, he
That
was
now you
working
can
on
just
it.
go down and knock on his door. Hey, listen, I got some ideas. Draw me up some sketches.
So, and he was fast. He knocked out. So, Weaponized Werewolf was just a quick story. It is
Mhm.
a 12-page story, but it's a prequel to Smokes. It was done by Barry McLean. He does. He works for Blue Juice Comics. You're probably not familiar, but it's a very small publishing out of New Jersey, actually.
Oh, okay.
He's working with some of the guys, I think, from the Stash.
Gotcha.
So he's doing work with those guys, and I think he was working with Trauma. Those guys that, do you remember Toxic Avenger?
Oh, yep, I do.
He was
Yeah,
behind that.
very fond of that movie. And then also, I actually coincidentally, just to kind of go a little bit off track, but since we're talking Toxic Avenger, I actually saw the off Broadway musical of Toxic Avenger.
What?
Yeah, they had an off Broadway musical of Toxic Avenger. It was a 5-person cast. It was a 5-person show, and it was awesome. It was hilarious, and it definitely leaned heavily into the whole like popcorn movie, like very like C tier kind of, or maybe even D tier level kind of movie Toxic Avenger was, and it just leaned into all those themes, but like they found a way to turn it into a musical. And like I said, with 5 people, they had everybody except for the guy playing Toxie, the Toxic Avenger. Everybody else played like 4 or 5 different parts throughout the whole story. So it was great. You had the mom playing the governor, as well as a couple other characters. You had like his bullies, playing like playing the professor, and a couple other characters on top of that as well. There was a former American Idol contestant that played the love interest, and she even played a couple extra parts as well too. It was a fun time, and a lot of jabs at New Jersey too.
I don't even remember the movie, honestly. I remember seeing it, but I don't remember what it was about, or or anything beyond what the character looked like. But the weird thing is, so Barry ended up working for Trauma, the guy who was behind the movie of Toxic Avenger,
Mhm.
and that was kind of weird. And then he turned out to be my neighbor, and then I was working with the inker of Smokes the Fox is Rodney Ramos, who's been around for a long time in comic books. And guess what? One of his first works was
Hit
Toxic
me.
Avenger.
Really?
Yeah,
No way.
yes. So it's a small world, and I like Rodney. I met him at a few shows, and he's a talker, and I would talk to him for a long time. And then when I put out my comic book, I decided to hit him up to do the inking, and he was kind of like also like the art director when he would look at the penciler's work and make
Mhm.
sure everything was up to par and everything was looking good and the proportions were right and stuff like that, and really making sure that people rip apart comics and they'll say, oh, look at that, look at this, what's that, looking
Yeah.
for what do they call them, what's the word, man, I
I
forgot
don't
the
know.
word.
I'm not an editor, so I don't know. But just tearing it apart, looking for all the minor mistakes and everything.
Yeah, tangent, that's the word I was looking for.
Real quick, Quick Comics Life goes, I want to babysit.
Yeah, everybody wants to babysit baby Emma. She's the star of the.
Mm.
She's going to be the future of Belmont Press,
There you go.
hopefully. And by then, by the time she grows up, I'll have a bunch of characters, and she can, put out the comics later on. I'll teach her how to do it.
And the Queen, just let you know, Queen Comics Life, um, she will not she will not want to be paid for it. She just wants to hang out with the baby. The only thing is, you just gotta wait for her to drive all the way to Colorado because she ain't getting on a plane. And she goes, yeah, sure, I'll spoil her. She's
You hear
got
that,
her own
baby girl?
parents. She's got her own parents. Queen Comics Life. I'm just starting a new job. Stop it. But so what led to because I really enjoyed Pencils Down. Um and Pencils Down, Hojo wrote it, and John Dillard did the art. Eric did the main cover, and then Dillard did a cover. I think he had a couple other people do some covers as well. But so what went into and here it is, by the way. Here's Pencils Down for everybody at home. And you can see there's some inspiration for anybody who's seen Eric on the channel before promoting Little Mermaid. There's what is it? There's Sebastian there. There's the Mermaid in the background. There's even Cocaine Shark over there, ladies and gentlemen. And this little ginger kid is playing with Dreaded Dinosaur Man action figure. So
That's
Eric put.
that's that's actually Eric as a kid.
Oh, is it?
Yes.
He didn't tell me that part. He was just like, yeah, I put some stuff in the background there. He never told me that that was supposed to be him. Oh, Eric, what'd you do to yourself, buddy?
And there's that seagull. I don't know what the seagull's name is in the comic book.
Yeah, it looks like the seagull just picking up smokes off off the body. Yeah, Eric had a lot of fun with this. I remember him telling me, but he did a great job with this one. But so what was the inspiration for? I mean, obviously, I read through it and I got the story and everything, but kind of what kicked off the inspiration for Pencils Down, or if you want to give maybe just a brief overview to everybody at home watching. I mean, I know it's a 12-page story, so it's I know you can't say too much without basically giving the whole story away, but just like a brief, real quick thing just about what kind of Pencils Down is, and then just what inspired it, how it came about, all that stuff. Especially because it's your newest title that you released.
Yeah, I never planned on putting Pencils Down out, but one day I saw a post about the COVID era. Where do you remember during COVID where all the artists in Marvel and DC were told to stop working on their projects, put your pencils down because the comic shops were closed.
Mm-hmm.
And I was thinking about that, and I was like, that would be a good idea for a comic book, but how would I make that work? So I like the name Pencils Down. So I was thinking I got to come up with a character or a story for that. And then I was thinking about it, and then I was drawing. I don't draw very well, but I was drawing. I drew the character just kind of like the cover, not as good as Eric can draw, but he had the body like that, and he had the big muscles. But the original character had the number 2 from the on his chest, like Superman.
Yep.
And
Yeah, he's got it on the bicep over here now.
yeah. So what happened was I was in this DM group, and I posted that picture, the drawing that I did of number 2 in the group, and I had the sharpener gun and everything. And originally he was going to fly around on 11x17 paper like the Silver Surfer, and I didn't want to give him legs. And I was thinking, how the hell is he going to move then without legs? And I thought, there's like Master Shake from what's that show there?
Oh, I couldn't tell you.
You know what I'm talking about? The Master Shake and Fry, whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
Cartoon.
Oh. It's Aqua Teen Hunger Force.
Aqua Teen Hunger Force. I was like, well, maybe he just floats in the air with his magic. So he's kind of like a genie, right? Without the lamp.
Instead, he comes from something a lot darker.
Yeah. So I came up. I was thinking about this idea, and I was like, how can I make it work? I came up with this origin story where this artist loses his job at the big 2. Instead of saying Marvel and DC, I say the big 2.
Oh, of course.
And
You got it to protect yourself.
He's told to put his pencil down in an email, and he gets fired from his job, and he gets very, very, very upset, and he wants to get revenge. So what he does is he dusts off his old Ouija board, and he gets some candles out, and he says, he tries to like cast a spell and get a demon to manifest. But it things kind of go wrong because when he's doing this ritual, his pencil from his drafting table rolls off the table onto the board, and then the board, the pencil actually comes to life, and he's angry because he's been drawing woke shit all this whole time.
Yeah, and also after 3 frogs come up and just put out say somebody's initials from a certain conglomerate of comic book creators and writers.
Yeah, so
I would show it, but the green screen, it won't even show up. But that was funny seeing that in there too. But I'm just trying to, because I don't, like I said, I don't want to give too much away, but I do want to. And then so like here's a good idea, a good representation of some other guys as well. You got what? Trust the science, mind you, it's during the COVID era. His shirt says coexist. What does his say? His says I support I can't read what the rest of his name is, but probably just more woke messaging and all that crap that we were saying. So I love how number two is just so anti libtard, anti woke nonsense, leftist nonsense, and then all of a sudden at the end he's like, oh, here my buddy that exists brings me something to eat. So after he
Yeah,
does all this stuff.
Hojo came up with the ending. I just gave him my origin story and how I wanted the story to begin, and he kind of like took it from there.
What's up, Daramuth? Wow, comics with kids. What a twist. Sorry.
Yeah,
Uh,
baby girl.
hi. Yeah, you got Queen Comics wife wrapped around your finger, little girl. No, we're not adopting. We have enough. Two is enough.
Got the rest
But
of your baba. You got a little bit left.
so and then something that you did in here, which I really thought was neat, was that you have basically the whole second half of the book is just fan art of number two, uh, and I think that's a really awesome way to just show some love back to the people that have kind of been backing this since you initially announced it and supporting it and being out there, just really vocal and staunch supporters of what you're trying to do with Pencils Down. These were probably my favorite pieces in the fan art section, especially with number two holding the pencil sharpener like a pew pew. But so it
That
was
that
Brett Barkley.
Yeah, Brett Barkley did two pieces. He came in second place in the art contest, and I liked both pieces so much that I decided to put them next to each other in a spread like that. Even though I thought about it, I was like, oh, maybe another artist would get mad. Hey, he's got two pieces. I only got one piece in there. You know what I mean? But they're so good that
The, oh yeah, they're so awesome. He did such a phenomenal job. Honestly, if you continue Pencils Down, talk to Brett. He did such a great job. Talk to Brett for at least the cover, because he did a wonderful job. I would love to see him do a cover for this. But and then another one that was in here that I thought was neat was somebody did just an homage to The Thing. Again, we got a green background, so. Uh-oh.
I'm gonna make her a bottle real quick.
Oh, okay, yeah, no worries, man, no worries. But yeah, so ladies and gentlemen, Pencils Down, you can find the link to it in the description. And just go to belmontcomics.com. I have the link here, I think, as well. Or I'm sorry, belmontpresscomics.com. I apologize, ladies and gentlemen. But yeah, the link is in the description of the streams. Oh, excuse me. Whew. But if you go and just go to that link, it'll take you right to Justin's page, which has the storefront and crowdfunding page accepting contributions and people to be able to still buy the book, even though the funding is complete. It's more of like a storefront. It is the link. It just has it linked directly to, what is this? Is this Fund My Comic, Justin, that this is linked to?
Yeah, it's I forgot what they call it, widget. Where
Okay.
it's
Yeah,
basically you're
I'll pull
buying
up the
from
screen
on my
share.
comic, but it's on my website.
Yeah, you were able to link it to your own website,
Yeah.
which is cool. So yeah, you just go to belmontpresscomics.com. You'll be able to grab Pencils Down, and like I said earlier in the show, the links in the chat are a link to Justin's other titles, Smokes the Fox and Weaponized Werewolf. You can go check those out as well. So now this is no this was a 12-page story. So was this more kind of just like a test run for number two and to see how people take to it, or what led to I guess the length of the story. Granted, you tell the story in 12 or Hojo, I mean, but you, Hojo, the whole team, Dillard, you guys all came together and told the story perfectly in 12 pages. You got the point across perfectly. So basically, is there, I guess, because it's 12 pages, does that mean that hopefully there's a future for number two and for Pencils Down as a title?
I asked Dillard, and he said he'll, it depends on how it goes, what he's doing and stuff, what he's working on.
Mhm.
But there might be a follow up. This is kind of like the origin story, so I wanted it to be short and sweet.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to spend a lot of money to make a 24-page comic. It is very expensive, especially if you want to do it right and use, top artists, good, you know, good colorist, and you know, a professional letterer. I
Mhm.
had Kurt Hathaway did the letters for all my books. He's been around for a long time doing lettering for Rob Liefeld for Youngblood, and
Okay.
he's done stuff for Mike Barron over the years. I think he did some Badger stuff, and he's worked for just about every publisher you can think of. He's not a household name or anything, but he knows how to letter,
Yeah, for
and he
sure.
knows
Well, and the
what he's doing.
letterers, that's that one skill set, that one title, one job in comics that just doesn't ever really seem to get enough love, but it's important. So
Very
yeah,
important.
it's although the letterers are not normally a household name, honestly, they probably should be. Especially the way that the letters get done sometimes, especially stylistically, all the stylized choices, how they're able to go about fitting it all into onto the pages in the scene without actually taking up too much of the scene itself. So yeah, the letterers definitely don't get enough love for sure.
So, like I said, I didn't have planned to make this book. I came up with the drawing, on the fly one day, and then Eric took my crude drawing and then drew that cover that you just showed,
Yeah, this one here.
and he drew it in pencil, pretty much the same exact pose without the background and stuff.
Yeah.
But I think the girl was there always, though. I think the girl underneath whatever was always there.
And I love she's got the pencil sharpener, just sharpening the tip.
That was all him on that one.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
it's getting the little bit I've gotten to know Eric. Yeah, that definitely falls in line with with him.
well, originally it wasn't actually a beach scene. It was a like a city scene.
Okay.
So the first cover that he did for me, I said I love that how you drew the character. I got to make a comic book. I liked the way he looked so much that I decided right there that I was going to make a comic book.
Oh, okay.
I didn't want to break the bank because I had a baby on the way and
For sure.
everything. I didn't want to break the bank, and so I thinking I could do a 12-page story like I did with Weaponized Werewolf, but 12 pages is kind of too thin. So I gotta have to fill it up with something else. And I was like, well, I could do fan art, and I
Yeah.
can represent the indie comic scene and get people a chance to get published in a comic book,
Now,
which is cool.
now a
You know,
lot of the submissions are a lot of the submissions are they artists that kind of are either doing their own thing or are working with other creators in the indie scene currently.
I didn't know what I was gonna get because I ran a contest
No,
and
I'm
I
saying
had
in the ones that you did get.
and the ones that I did get, some of them, have drawn stuff, their own titles, or just like the draw, or just like do draw streams on their own channels and stuff like that.
Oh, okay, so you got
Um,
people kind of from all over the place submitting stuff. That's
people,
cool.
yeah, people that are trying to break in and trying to get noticed. And it wasn't really, I wasn't, giving away a big cash prize. I think it was $125 for first place.
Yeah.
But if you won the first place prize, you also got all the comic book covers, so all four covers, and you got a graved pencil. I made these pencils that say "pencils down" on the number 2 pencil.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, yeah. So
That's awesome, man. Hey, if pencils down takes off and you end up doing several issues of this, turning this into a series, that sounds like that definitely needs to be something on the storefront. Just regular old number twos that just say pencils down on them, and you could just take like a felt sharpie and just like one of the thin felt point sharpies and just write pencils down on the pencil, and there you
no,
go.
I went on Etsy and I found a person that has one of those lasers, those
Oh, okay.
laser engravers. So they just take like a blank, just regular number 2 pencil, and then they punch it into the program with the lettering or whatever, and then it just like kind of burned pencils down into the pencil.
Oh,
And the
here we
first,
go. Here's
yeah,
sorry about that. I scrolled down. Here's the frogs I was talking about before. What would they each take their turns going
well,
EVS?
those are the Ewiser frogs.
Yeah, well, that's how I read it initially when I was flipping through it and I saw them. I read it as the Budweiser frogs initially last night, so I figured that's what you what you and Hojo were going for with that.
Yes, and they're also on cover B, the Corey Barton cover. They're in the background on the windowsill on that
Yep,
cover.
there they are. I need more of those frogs. I need more of the frogs just for the little subtle name drops. So I guess that is I guess that does kind of lead me to an interesting question.
Uh-huh.
Not necessarily related to pencils down, but like kind of just you and your brand of Belmont Press in general. Now me personally, I know there's a whole bunch of people out there that are like pro CG, anti CG, pro RIPA, anti RIPA, pro this, anti that, blah blah blah, blah whatever. Like me, I don't particularly care. Like I've got I don't know where you fall in that. I mean, I can kind of assume since you have the frogs, say given his initials, but like it don't really matter to me because I'm more saying this more for kind of posterity and for anybody watching at home and for anybody that maybe watches this in the future. Like if you are pro CG, there's nothing wrong with that, and I got no beef with you. If you're anti CG, there's nothing wrong with that, and I got no beef with you. I'm just tired of seeing people have beef with each other.
Yeah,
if you
actually, this project was supposed to be a project that brings everybody together.
Was
Like
it
make,
okay?
that's what it was supposed to be, but that's not what happened.
I mean, honestly, I read through. Well, I read through, and I kind of got that because it didn't really target anybody in particular, except for the woke self insertionists at the big two. Those are the only people that I think would have been offended by this. So I
Yeah,
personally, I read it, I enjoyed it. I didn't pick up on anything else. I just, like I said, the one nod to EVS. So that just kind of was like, oh, okay, well, Justin like is kind of in the CG and everything. Oh, that's
well,
cool.
if it wasn't for EVS, I never would have put out Smokes or any of my comic books because he was
Okay.
one that I saw when I saw Cyberfrog. I bought Cyberfrog back in the days, and I remember the Jay Lee cover back in the days, the first Cyberfrog cover that he did. I remember I
Mhm.
owned that comic. So when I saw that the crowdfunding was around, and you can now crowdfund your book, and it was possible that to put out your own stuff. So without him, I wouldn't be here. And a lot of other creators, they can hate him or whatever, but they wouldn't be here without him.
No,
Most
fair enough. That is
so
absolutely a fair assertion to make.
and there's a lot of fighting going on, and I thought this book can bring everybody together. Let's make fun of everybody. Let's make fun of
Yes.
anti CG. Let's make fun of CG. So
Yes.
EBS is in there, but other people are in there that are anti CG are also in the book. You just have to look and see in the background or
Yep.
hidden. There's all kinds of Easter eggs in the book. It's a short read, but you got to keep reading it and looking at it, and you'll find there's probably at least 100 eggs between the covers and in the backgrounds.
Yeah. Just in what, 4 covers and 12 pages.
Yes, a
You,
lot
you
of
you
stuff.
can squeeze all that. You guys were able to squeeze all that stuff in there. That's impressive. I got to go through and take a second look now. I mean,
And
my whole like indie scene in terms of like the crowdfunding indie scenes, like CG and everything else that kind of has spawned from it. I'm not super up to date, so I probably won't get all the Easter eggs myself. But that is awesome that for somebody that maybe has a little more insight on that, they can flip through and be like, oh, that's good. Oh, that's great. Oh, I know who that's supposed to be. Oh, this, that, and the other. Like those are fun things. Like not just in comics, but like TV shows, movies, whatever. Those are like just the little Easter eggs are there in anything. That's always fun. So that's cool to hear that you guys were able to do that. I'm assuming Dillard had a lot of fun doing that.
yeah, and there's a lot of first appearances in the book. Like I
Mhm.
believe I believe it's the first appearance of the Little Mermaid and all those characters, a
Yep.
cameo appearance. And there's Demi Foot. That comic book was trying to get funded recently. Demi Foot's like a hybrid Bigfoot human guy.
I
He's
haven't heard of that one.
he's in the background. And then there's Michael Ferraro in the back in the art section. He has his own character named I think it's Mika Margarita, something like that. Is his original character. He's coming out with his book later on, so that's the first cameo appearance of his character.
Oh, cool.
And so I try to I have everybody have fun with it. And I originally wanted to get everybody to back the book, anti CG, pro CG, Rippaverse fans, everybody.
Oh
There's
yeah.
even Isam's couch is in the book.
I wouldn't have even thought to look at the couch and be like,
Yeah.
oh hey, that's a particular couch. Like I gotta go back and look for all that stuff. But Midnight Gamer said EVS was groundbreaking artist by leaving the mainstream. Yeah, no, you can for all the things people can say. That is definitely one thing I think everybody can get on board with. That yeah, him leaving the mainstream was done. I mean, and there are others that did it before him, but like in terms of I guess a modern current day comics, for him to leave and go and start doing his own thing, whatever you may think about what he's been doing since is everybody's entitled to their opinions and whatnot. I'm not necessarily give mine one way or the other because I'm not necessarily too super well read into it from both sides. So, but whatever you gotta say, you gotta say at least, yeah, it was definitely a huge move when he decided to say screw you to the big two and kind of just go off and do his own thing.
Yeah, and then later on, when I put out the comic and the pencils down, he laughed at the name. He actually did a song. He like used to do song parodies and stuff. He did a song called Pencils Down before I released this book. And I asked him. I said, "Is there any way we can use Cyberfrog on the cover, on this Dillard cover? Can you know Dillard draw him in? You could check it out, and you can if you don't like it, we'll change it or whatever. We'll keep making changes until you're happy with it." And he didn't really like that idea. I knew it was a long shot,
Mhm.
to use Cyberfrog on the cover. Just casually asking. I'm not really good friends with him,
Yeah.
I'm not And then he later on, as a good gesture, he actually commissioned cover C, which is a Sven Stoffels cover, the next one down. Yeah, that one.
Did he really?
Yes, so I didn't actually pay for this cover. EVS did, and when he was on
Oh,
stream,
and there he is
he
right there on the on the
yeah
laptop.
he he didn't draw it, but Sven did, and
Yeah.
Sven is working for EVS on another project. I think Heather Swain project or something like that,
Okay.
like a prequel, I think, to Cyberfrog. And on the stream, he was dictating what he wanted on the cover. I mean, so he was saying like there's going to be cancel pigs or whatever on the cover, and he was wrecking them, and that's why their fingers are all mangled.
Yeah. And they
And
got the nose rings and all that. Yeah, just exactly what you would expect.
yeah,
That
so
this is a fun cover. It's good.
so
You know, what? Good on him for doing that.
so
That was awesome. Him.
they were basically hate watching EVS's stream on their laptop, and then number two came in and wrecked them, and then the laptop flew in the air, and you could see EVS on the screen. So
That's awesome.
so that's why I put him on the thank you page, and I gave him a shout out on the thank you page, and he helped me raise some money for the book, and it's amazing. I never thought anybody would commission a cover for me. You know what I
Oh
mean? So
yeah, yeah. The fact that the fact that, like I said, the fact that he did, regardless of what, again, regardless of what anybody may think about him, I mean that's a generous and just all around just kind hearted move on his part. So good on him for doing that. This is this black and white, just the lines for the Dillard cover is awesome.
yeah,
I'm just seeing this now.
every, everything in the book was done digitally except for this cover.
Oh, okay.
Well, maybe some of the artwork in the fan section might have been done traditionally, but for the
Yeah,
most part, everything was done digitally. But I wanted the physical piece of artwork, and I wanted the cover. I like to own the covers to my comics.
for sure.
So, and I told Dillard that. So we worked out a deal where I can use the cover and actually own the original. And that's Frog G. There's two different frogs on the cover. It's kind
Mhm.
of weird how that worked out. So I wanted to fund. Dillard's not. I want to say he's super expensive, but he's not super affordable either. And I'm not made out of money because of the baby and everything.
Yeah. Hey,
Excuse me.
I'm sorry to cut you off, Justin. Just real quick, over on Rumble, Rants has rated the stream.
He's crazy.
He's rated. So just real quick, heads up, air horns, air horn, hip hop air horn time. Rants, brother, thank you so much for the raid over here on Rumble, brother. I appreciate you. I hope you're doing well, Rants. Anybody and everybody that's coming on in from Rants' stream, I'm just sitting here with Justin Belmont, Belmont Press Comics. We're just talking about his most recent book that has released and been fulfilled, Pencils Down. You could get the book in the link in the description here. But we're just here hanging out. We're talking about some more pencils down. In a few minutes here, we're gonna talk into something else that Justin actually has coming up for pencils down as well. So, but there he is. There he is. What's going on, Rance? Thank you so
Hey,
much
man.
for the raid, brother. I appreciate you, man.
So
Anyway,
it's kind of weird how we ended up with 2 frogs on the cover. So to get this cover made, I thought of the idea I can come up with a tier where you do a drawn in tier, but for the cover instead of the interiors.
looks like
So
he's feeding a baby, not drawing comics. He didn't draw any. This is not a comics drawing stream, Rance. Come on, brother. I know you. I know you. You've been hanging out for the gaming streams. This is my bread and butter, though, man. I love talking to the people. I love talking comics. That's what we're doing, my guy. But he is definitely feeding a baby, though. Yes, Mid Iowa Gamer. He is definitely
I
feeding a
made this
baby.
baby and I made this comic.
There you go. But no, Justin is the creator of Pencils Down. And then he had a team of awesome creators. He had Hojo writing. For anybody who's familiar with the indie comics scene, Hojo did the writing. John Dillard did the art on the interior. And then he had Dillard did a cover. Eric Hodson did a cover. He had a whole group of awesome people in the indie comic scene work on this with him. But anyway, you're talking about the frogs on the cover here.
Yeah, so I did a drawn in tier to offset the cost of the cover. And one of the guys' name is Frog Tony. He doesn't really like to show his face. He just goes his avatar instead of his
Okay.
face. So we just
Yeah,
went
I've
with
heard of
that.
Frog Tony.
Yeah, so we went with that and put him in the background, and Dillard put him smoking a cigarette on the dumpster right there. He's like, I don't even smoke. I was like, well, hey, that's how it came out.
I didn't even pick up that was supposed to represent him, but now that you mention it, though, yeah, that's a good one.
And then the color version, it's kind of, you can tell better.
Yeah.
And then instead, like I said, I wasn't able to get Cyber Frog, which was a long shot. You know what I mean? I'm not
for
mad
sure.
at him or nothing like that. I had to ask though.
Yeah, definitely.
And then instead of Cyber Frog, I asked Frog G if he would let me use his character.
Okay.
He's been around in indie comics for a while. He had Frog G1 that came out a couple years back, and now he's got Frog G2, the Cerebus key, I believe it's called.
I'll go back to the color of this for everybody. There we go.
Yeah, so Frog G's right there, and there's just wrenches. See, he got famous in the indie scene because he used to have a wrench in everybody's YouTube channel. So,
Nice, very
so
nice.
he would be on, he'd be in EVS's channel, and you'd have the wrench, and anywhere he would go, everybody would give him a wrench. So he came out. He used to go by Frog G, and he came out with his character, and he has wrenches and stuff like that. That's his gimmick. So I asked him, and he said, "You mean Frog G on a cover drawn by Dillard?" And I was like, "Yeah." And he's like, he goes, "Yeah, you can use my character." So I got the permission to use him, and I put that in there. And then there's a couple guys in the background that also paid to be in the cover. And
Okay.
right next to Frog Tony is Sven Stoffels.
Who did this one down here that EVS
Yeah.
had commissioned for you? Okay.
So as a thank you for drawing the cover, I mean, he got paid by EVS. I didn't pay him, but I felt bad, you know what I mean? Because I didn't pay this guy, and he's doing work for me that I thought I should do something nice for him.
Mhm.
So I had Dillard put him in the background of the book as as an Easter egg.
Yeah, and that was good of you. And then just real quick here, I'm just hitting them as it comes in. So although this is showing as nothing here, I can see over in the actual Rumble chat, Snooty Mims actually gifted a subscription to the channel here over on Rumble. Snooty, brother, again, you're too generous, my man. Thank you so much. I'll hit you with another thank you clip once we're getting done here. But Rance said, "Have a great stream and an even better night. I will check out this Belmont." Yeah, for sure, Rance. Definitely go check it out. Like you said, links are in the description of the stream, man. Pencils Down is his most recent release, but also if you scroll up a bit in the chat, or if you look actually right here on the right side, he's got a tier here on his website that you can get not just Pencil Down as a PDF, but his two other titles, Smokes the Fox and Weaponized Werewolf, as a PDF as well. So go ahead and check that out. And then once the stream is over, I'll update everything with the actual link to the Fund My Comic page for Smokes and for Weaponized Werewolf for you, Justin.
Yeah, and I'm on Kickstarter as well as Indiegogo, so whatever.
Okay.
Pick your poison.
Yeah. Under Belmont Press Comics.
Yeah, so you just type in pencils down in the search bar. I'm on demand on Kickstarter. I'm on demand on Indiegogo. I got a storefront on Fund My Comic.
Perfect. And then, and look at that, Rance was gifted the membership by Snooty. So there you go. It all worked out.
Nice.
so I like I said, I read Pencils Down last night. I absolutely loved it. I love the digs at the self insertionists, the crazy libtard psychos that have been infecting the big two for so long. I mean, it's and they exist like in creator owned publishers like Image and stuff like that as well. But like those are their titles, or like they're getting paid to work on somebody else's title. It's not Image's title, so I can look past it. Like the big two is a different story, like because it's all just it's kind of destroyed what the big two is supposed to be and mean to a lot of people. But anyway, I love that though. It was a lot of humor in that, and then also just the concept of how number two came to be, that he was summoned as for revenge is really just this is just a lot of fun just from start to finish. I definitely want to know more about about this angel girl character here, this kind of
Oh,
dark angel character. I hopefully if we get a proper pencils down number one, we could get to see more about her. Or is she supposed to be another Easter egg?
well, she's based off Fanta, who is a big fan of indie comics. And we used to stream together. I used to have a show called The Man Cave,
Oh, okay.
and she would be the only woman pretty much on The Man Cave that was allowed on the show. And we would have her, and she's always making videos for creators and promoting other people's campaigns. And recently, she had some health problems, and
Oh no.
so I did send her comic. So I don't know if she's able to read it yet or whatever, but I don't really want to talk about her health situation on the
No,
stream.
for
But
sure, for
it
sure.
was
Just shout out and prayers to her, and hopefully everything
yeah, but
turns a corner for her on that.
she has this alter ego where her name was Dark Angel,
Okay.
and it's just like her with like a gothic outfit with some wings, and then Dillard decided to give her a gun, which is kind of odd. And she has bad eyesight. I wouldn't. She's like legally blind, but she can still see a little bit. Where I don't know
Mhm.
what that's, but legally, you can't drive a car. But in the comic book, she's driving a car, so that's kind of like the joke if you know
Okay.
her.
Yeah,
So
yeah, that's a no knowing that story. That's a nice little chuckle there. Um yeah, man, I definitely want to see more number two. I want to see more of Dark Angel as well. I just want more pencils down. I want more of putting my pencil down and picking up this book and reading it, and more books like it. So do you have, before we get into what you actually have coming up in terms of the next campaign you have coming up, do you have, I know I kind of asked you earlier, but just to kind of reiterate the question, do you have any future plans for pencils down? I know you were talking about if Dillard's available and everything, but what I'm assuming, or let's just say perfect world, Dillard's free to work on something. Is there already plans for a proper pencils down number one,
I
or
have
at least
ideas brewing of how it would go. Like on the cover A, there's like a beach scene, so I kind of want to like where he ends up at the beach.
okay?
So I know everybody's gonna say, "Oh, there's a beach scene on the cover, but it doesn't actually exist inside the book." A lot of people
Who
don't like that,
cares?
where the cover doesn't match. Uh, so I wanted to continue the story, and then maybe he ends up on the beach. So this scene does happen in a future comic book. So it might happen. This is actually the zero issue, so it'd be the
Yep.
first issue of Pencils Down if I did another one. Maybe it'd be like another 12 pager, and then I could put it together and make a full comic. Um, just with the baby now and stuff, and all the medical expenses, I'm kind of still recovering from all that.
No,
I don't
for
know.
sure, man,
I
for
don't know if you
sure.
know, but they changed like this law out here where I don't know if it's a law or a rule, but usually they just charge you for the room that you're having the labor in. You know what I mean? You charge your wife or whatever for the room you're delivering the baby, right? But now they charge the baby for the same room, so they double bill you.
Wait,
So it was
do they charge a
the
newborn baby who
baby.
doesn't have a job, who
Correct.
doesn't have income, who can't
Yes.
even what?
So they charge the same, basically a double billing, charge you for the room twice because two different people, because the newborn baby is counts as a I don't know, it's nuts, man. So that
That's
it was a whole ordeal, and some medical costs were kind of high and stuff like that. But
that's
so if I do
nonsense.
another book, it'll probably be like a 12 pager, because doing
Hold
a
on one
24
second,
page,
excuse me.
yeah, no problem. What are you saying, baby girl?
Sorry about that. But yeah, it's I definitely hopefully everything falls into place because but yeah, that's. Oh, hey, Erconda, what's going on, man? Lurking while leading. Yeah, that's definitely what is it? Modern day healthcare for you in a nutshell.
Yeah, I'm glad there
We're
wasn't like really any complications or anything like that. The baby only took hour and a half or something to come out.
okay. There you go. And
Delivery
then
wasn't too long.
yeah, you know what? It would be nice if at least they took that second charge. Hey, we're charging the baby as well, but then turn around and hey, we're going to charge the baby, but then we're just going to put that towards for the baby to go to medical school and then come and work for us. Snooty.
Well, if you do have a baby, if you can actually call the hospital up and tell them if you want to pay them, like if you want to pay all the money that you owe, they will give you like 20% off, 25% off if you're going to pay them like the full amount over the phone.
Hmm.
So you can do that and save a little bit of money doing that kind of thing. It never hurts to ask.
Yeah, save a little bit of money on the double charge.
Yeah, so they double bill you, and then you can save money on that double billing.
That's
But yeah,
wild, man.
they changed the law or the rule in January, and then we had the baby in February. And
Oh, jeez.
she was born, believe it or not. I was born in the year of the snake, and I thought she was going to be born in the year of the snake. And the year of the snake doesn't actually start until like February, mid-February, I believe, of 2025.
Okay.
And I heard it was good luck to have your baby born in the same year, if you're whatever your sign.
Oh, I have no idea
But
about
the
any of
baby
that.
was born early. She was born about a month early, and
Oh, okay.
so she was born actually on inauguration day on January 20th. Believe it or not.
Hey, you know what? That's just as lucky, you could say.
So she was born on, yeah. I missed the inauguration, Trump cutting the cake with a sword or whatever, and all that stuff. I missed all that because we're in the delivery room, and but yeah, she was born early, and she's kind of a miracle baby. It's about a 5% chance of my wife having a baby.
Really?
Yeah,
Mm.
when you're like
Well,
40 years old, having a baby is
oh
you
yeah,
you don't have
yeah.
as many eggs or whatever, and
Well, God definitely blessed you guys. That's for
yeah.
sure. With
So
with 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 quite the lovely little angel there. But
we tried for years, and then it was like it just happened one day, so it was unexpected.
well, that's awesome, man. Hey, you know what? Those are the best. Those are the best surprises, the unexpected ones. Our younger one was definitely unexpected as well. And you know what? I wouldn't have it any other way. Unexpected surprises are always the best, but especially your guys' case. That's awesome, and congratulations to you guys. And again, God bless you
Thank
guys
you.
for that. That
So
that that's awesome. But anyway, let's just real quick. Well, before we wrap this up, you did what you sent this to me. This is your upcoming campaign, and I love the idea for this. So why don't you
yeah,
go ahead and let everybody know kind of what's going on with this, what exactly this is for everybody, and then kind of roughly a timetable of when this is actually going to launch.
I was thinking like September, late September.
Oh, did you just pick up a prototype?
Yeah, it's already been designed. I mean,
Oh, yeah,
all we
I
gotta
I
do is
missed
print it.
that. I was looking up here. I got like three different screens going on. I missed that. Yeah,
So
let me pull you up here so everybody can see. So that's number 2 as a pencil holder.
yep, and I also have it in black.
Oh, that's great.
It has like a cap, right? And then it fits one pencil in the top. And then if you're not using it, you can put the cap on, kind of covers up the hole.
That's awesome.
But I don't know. I just when I put out Smokes, I came out with a little mini figure. It's on. If you go to Fund My Comic and if you type in Smokes the Fox, I have little minifigures for sale. And I was gonna make a little minifigure for Pencils Down, but he has no legs. So
Yeah, there. I mean, yeah, that would be tough. I mean, I guess you would have the tip of the pencil, the pencil tip, connect to the base at that point. But even then, you'd have
yeah,
it just. I mean, it's
I thought about
doable.
it. I thought
It's
about
doable.
it,
You
and it
got to
would
get
look
a little
weird.
creative with
It
it.
would look weird. I'd have to have a base, and then the tip of the pencil would have to balance the rest of the figure on the base. And I was thinking it's not going to look right. Or maybe the pencil could be inside the pencil sharpener or something. And I was thinking, I was like, that would be kind of corny though. And
Yeah. There's
so
there's definitely you brainstorm on it enough. I'm sure you'll think of something. Because there's definitely ways around it. You just gotta sit and have some peace of mind. And who knows? Maybe the little one will just pick up something and give you some inspiration. You'll see her holding something, and you're like, "That's it."
So yeah, I was gonna try to make a follow up figure that would go with the Keshi Dream Smokes figure, and they're just little 3D printed figures, but they have a hole in their hand, kind of like a Lego figure,
Oh, okay.
and the so it holds what he holds weapons, and I actually just found a site that had these realistic weapons, and I rescaled them
Oh, okay.
to fit him. So bazooka and RPG, and then there's another weapon, but I couldn't release it. It was a it was a marijuana related. It was like a Keith scooper.
Gotcha.
So I couldn't really because it's against the toss or whatever the
Yeah.
rules to have any kind of paraphernalia, even if it's a toy or whatever. So I kind of scrapped that idea and I want to get banned. So I made different color figures, and then I offered like this poker chip. So the pencils down pencil holder, there's actually going to be a poker chip, and see that little mini comic
Yeah.
in your hand. It's not. It doesn't open up. It's like a display. So it
That,
just has the cover.
that's
So it's
still
kind of like,
fun though.
yeah. So it's kind of like a Barbie dollhouse sized. It's double sided. So one side has the cover and the other side has the same cover. So it's on both sides.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go. When she gets older and she has her dolls and everything she wants to play with, you can just give her little Belmont press titles to give to her dolls.
Yeah. So cover A, Eric Hodson's cover is going to be the mini comic, and then you
Perfect.
can also get the poker chip, which is going to be a different color, not green, because I felt green was the right color for smokes, obviously. And
Mhm.
then I believe I'm using what color was it? I was going to do red for the poker chip. So the artwork's already
Ooh.
done for the poker chip. I just haven't got them produced, but there's a place in Las Vegas that can do them pretty quickly that I know that'll do them for me.
Oh, cool.
And then they come with a little case like you see right there, so it holds the chip and it has a little stand so you can put it next to the figure. So I'm going to offer the first 30 people will be able to get the gold. There's only going to be 30 of these made, of the gold ones.
Oh, okay. Of these right here.
Yeah, of the gold idol. And I kind of got the idea from, Indiana Jones. I forget, was it Temple of the Doom where they has the idol
Yep.
and he tries to switch it out with a sandbag or whatever.
Raiders of the Lost Ark. I
Raiders
think
of the
was it?
Lost Ark.
Yeah, it was the very beginning of Raiders.
And I was thinking, what color? Because I only can have one solid color for the figure. What color would be cool? And I thought yellow kind of looked, not. I don't really like yellow. Then I came up with gold, and then I remember I was watching Indiana Jones on TV, like a rerun on TV, and I was like, that'd be perfect, gold. And then I
And it
asked
works.
my guy, and he said he can actually print in gold.
And it works too because he's a number 2 pencil, which are kind of like goldenrod in
Yeah,
color. So it all works out.
yeah. So if you sign up to the email list, and then you back, you're gonna get a secret tier link to the gold edition version. And then there's gonna also be
Very nice.
there's gonna be other colors like the black one I showed you, and there's gonna be gray.
Now, like this one here.
Yeah, that's good for coloring. So some people like to paint
Yep.
their models and stuff. It's a nice size figure.
Oh
It's a
yeah.
bust, and it's 4.7 inches, almost 5 inches. Then when you put a pencil in it, it's probably like 7 inches or so.
And roughly, what is roughly your timetable when this is going to go live? I mean, I know obviously the goal was to have people definitely enter their email address and be notified, but just in case somebody either maybe forgets to or whatnot, or if somebody just wants to mark it down just to double make sure that they're on board for this, or just what's your rough timetable for this launching?
End of September, early October, up to maybe mid October at the latest.
Okay.
That's my goal. But right now, I'm just collecting emails. I don't have enough where I feel confident to launch, but I haven't been promoting it very often because I've been promoting Pencils Down,
Hmm.
and people just started getting their books. They're like, "Well, hey Belmont, what are you trying to do? We didn't even get our books yet, and you're trying to push us on another campaign." So I just mailed out about 26 packages the other day. So about 75% of my fulfillment is completed, and I have
Awesome.
about 30 something more packages that I need to send out. I have to fulfill the Kickstarter backers, and I have to fulfill all the Sven Stoffel's people that back that tier. So I'm down to those orders and then a couple people just back recently, so I got to get those orders out, and then I'm going to be doing the fulfillment on the digital. So if you order digital, if you got one of those packs where I had the you get the digital comics,
Hmm.
and you get the in the physical comic. I didn't forget about you guys. I'm going to be sending out the digital to everybody. It's only going to take me, like 2 days maybe to get everybody the link to download the
For sure.
digital. And the digital comes with the regular comic, but it's also going to feature 4 extra pages of 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 fan art.
Oh, nice. Very nice.
So I wasn't able to fit all the fan art into the book, so I thought I could put it in the digital book. It wouldn't really cost me anything extra to do that. Just the letterer to work on the pages and to set them up for me. So, and the thank you page is slightly different on the digital. It just has a couple extra names, but overall, it's the same book with 4 extra pieces of art. And then you also get Dillard's line art, black and white. So it's the artist edition of the comic book, but there's no words. It's just
Okay.
the raw art, the black and white
Oh,
art.
I'm
So if you
I
if
may
you
need to
back
go back go back and grab that.
yeah, so if you back the digital for $8, you're gonna get Pencils Down, 4 pages longer, and the Dillard Artist Edition. And I also have another digital option, which is the Belmont Digital Collection, which comes with both Pencils Down PDFs that I was just talking about, and
Mhm.
you also get everything else that I ever did. So I did, Smokes the Fox, Weaponized Werewolf, and then I also have the Artist Edition for Smokes and Weaponized Werewolf, and also a bonus PDF with just like behind the scenes stuff, like model sheets and stuff like that, stuff that was never released. So basically, everything I've ever done, you can get for
Yeah.
$20 digitally from me, and you can back that on the Pencils Down campaign. You can back it on the Smokes the Fox campaign. Uh,
And everything you need to know, ladies and gentlemen, you go follow Justin here on X at Justin_Belmont Press Comics. Justin, do you have any maybe final words for everybody watching at home, or maybe just something maybe that you didn't discuss yet? Maybe like a couple ideas, maybe something we can look out for in the future, outside of the pencil holder, the really awesome pencil holder.
yeah, what I wanted to do is I'm working on Smokes 2.
Oh, okay.
It's already been written. So Mike Barron did return and did the script for Smokes 2, and that was done like a couple years back. It's been edited, and the production did begin on it. There's 5 pages that are actually completed for Smokes 2,
Very
and
nice.
there's 2 covers that are done, and actually an inside cover was done as well. Like my artist did a homage image. I don't want to give it away, but I had Bob Hall do a cover for me. If you're familiar with Bob,
Yes, I am. That's awesome.
so
And
he did a cover, and then Corey Barton, who did Pencils Down cover B,
mhm,
he actually did a Smokes cover for me.
very
And
nice.
Smokes 2 is going to introduce a new female character who's kind of like my April O'Neil to the Turtles.
Okay.
But they're not having sex or anything like that. You know what I mean? There's
No,
no interspecies erotica or whatever. Uh,
no, none of that nonsense. I hear you.
but he has a new smoking pal, and she goes to college. And I work with Mike on the story, how it was going to go, how the story was going to continue, and so it's a really fun read. And my artist has just been, I don't know, doing his own thing and working on a construction project. He told me he hasn't been able to work on any pages, so I'm kind of stuck at the 5 page mark right now,
Yeah.
and it's going to be a
And
24 page book.
and especially in this space, the indie space, as is life, like a lot of the people involved in indies, I'm sure yourself included, probably 95% of the people involved in indies all have other gigs, other jobs, other whatever that are even
Yeah,
maybe unrelated to comics. So it's unfortunate, but it is one of those things. But yeah, man, hopefully his schedule could clear up at some point in the near future so he can keep putting stuff out. and
yeah. If it
and
doesn't,
everybody needs to go and pick up Smokes the Fox #1, either the digital or the special edition covers, the virgin cover, and the other covers that Justin has available. But Justin, brother, thank you so much, and
appreciate it.
thank you, little baby Emma, so much. It was Emma, right?
Yeah, Emma Grace Belmont. Uh,
Thank you for coming, Emma. Thank you for joining us.
Say bye.
And Snooty Mim said, "Beautiful baby. Children are the most precious things in the world." And Mid
I was
Iowa Gamer agreed.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting to have a girl. Every one of my siblings had boys, so I
Hmm.
thought for sure I was going to be a boy, and my wife obviously wanted a girl, and what came out was a girl that looks like me.
Yeah, but it's actually funny. My family kind of works the same way. Hardly no girls in the family at all. And then my younger one comes around because my older one, she's my stepdaughter. But she's my daughter in my mind. Nobody can convince me otherwise. Screw them if they try to. But in terms of just biologically, our younger one is the first female pretty much in both sides of my family in a very long time. So, but that's awesome that she was able to join us tonight. I'm glad she had fun. Hopefully, Justin, you had fun, brother. Uh, give me
Yeah,
1 second. I'm just wrapping up. Huh? Give me a second. I'm wrapping up. She over here going,
girls.
"I need your wallet. I need your wallet."
That's what my wife says too.
Yeah, right. But everybody, thank you so much, Snooty Mims. I saw it earlier. I wanted to just acknowledge you again. Snooty dropped another gifted subscription to the channel. So Snooty, thank you, brother. And everybody, please go check out Justin. Go follow him on X. Go pick up Pencils Down while you're still able to, and Smokes the Werewolf, and or not Smokes the Werewolf. Sorry, Smokes the Fox, Weaponized Werewolf. And just like I said, follow Justin on X for all the other good stuff that he's got coming in the future at some point. Insert hi to ComixDad here. Levish, what's going on, brother? Good to see you, man. But yeah, hi, insert second hi too, and no, give her a wallet. No, I'll give her the wallet once we're done. But everybody, thank you so much. Justin, again, brother, thank you so much
Thank you.
for joining me. I hope you had a good time.
Yeah, I did.
And until next time, everybody, be good to yourselves, be good to each other. What are you doing? Why do you need the wallet?
I need it for your debit card.
Before you give me 5 minutes before you tell me what you're doing.
For Yarny.
Fine, for Yarny. For a friend of the channel. You're welcome. I love you too. But and what was I saying? Yeah, support be good to yourselves, be good to each other. Support your local comic shops. Support independent comic creators there we go, like Justin and Baby Emma and Justin's crew that he has working on all of his. Yes, go Procreate for sure. We need we need the replacement numbers back up. Go Procreate base children. And also support small creators like myself, Queen Comics Life, Vistro, who hopped into chat, Rants, who raided over earlier as well. And yeah, just have fun, everybody. And like I said, until I see y'all again, y'all take care. Thank you so much. I'm out.
So tune in, geek out, it's all in good fun. Talking shop with ComixDad, everyone. Let's keep the conversation lively and bright. See you next time for more insight. Welcome to Talkin' Shop, where we never stop discussing heroes, villains, every plot twist we've got, from ink to screen and all in between. With ComixDad and friends, it's the scene.